Marta, a female caregiver, made a terrifying discovery while giving an injection. She had mistaken a painkiller for an anti-inflammatory drug. What was even more alarming was that instead of the prescribed 3 milligrams of the painkiller, she had administered 100 milligrams. Just 5 milligrams of such a high-purity drug was enough to be lethal. Harlan tried to comfort Marta, telling her not to worry because as long as naloxone was used within 10 minutes, the drug could be metabolized and eliminated from the body. Harlan then took out his notebook, thinking it was a very interesting way to kill someone. But Marta was getting more and more anxious because the naloxone that should have been in the medical kit was nowhere to be found. Harlan could see her concern. After all, wealthy people like him usually lived in suburban mansions. Even if they called for help now, it would be too late by the time the paramedics arrived. It seemed like tonight was bound to be a deadly situation. He knew someone must have been trying to use Marta as a scapegoat to frame her for murder. Marta still held out a sliver of hope. She picked up the phone, but Harlan suddenly hung up. He asked Marta to listen carefully to every word he was about to say, because only by doing so could he help her clear herself of suspicion of murder. Harlan didn't want his own situation to cause Marta's family to fall apart. If the police suspected Marta, her mother's illegal immigrant status would certainly be exposed. Harlan instructed her to make some noise when she went downstairs, and not to forget to greet the person at the door. It was exactly midnight. Then she drove away from the mansion. Once out of range of the surveillance cameras, Harlan told her to pull over to the side of the road and return to the mansion through the back garden gate, as the family dog knew her and wouldn't bark. But to avoid being seen by anyone, she had to climb back up to the 3rd floor via the lattice bars outside the wall. However, she accidentally broke one of them. When she came back, Harlan told her to put on his pajamas and hat. He knew his younger son smoked at this time every day, which successfully made him mistake Marta for his father. This provided an eyewitness account that could clear Marta from being the prime suspect. But Marta had a fatal flaw. She would vomit whenever she lied. Harlan advised her not to lie and only tell part of the truth. Marta then returned the same way she had come. Unexpectedly, as soon as she came down, she ran into Harlan's great-grandmother. Fortunately, her eyesight was poor, and she mistook Marta for her great-grandson, even asking him why he had come back again. Under the cover of darkness, Marta finally made it home. However, the next day, when the butler pushed open the bedroom door, he saw that Harlan's throat had been slit, and there was a bloody dagger on the floor. As Harlan was a famous mystery writer, news of his death quickly made headlines. The police initially determined it to be a suicide, but Marta still lived in fear every day. One day she received a phone call saying that since Harlan had been buried, the police still needed to ask everyone some questions, so they hoped Marta would come back to work at the mansion early. The story enters its climax from this moment.